Welcome back. The Ogun State Governor and Senator-elect of Ogun Central, Ibikuli Amosun, has joined the campaign trail of the Allied People's Movement, APM. The party returns to the campaign ground on Wednesday, canvassing for votes for its governorship candidate, Ibikuli Akilade, ahead of the March 9th governorship election. Governor Amosun says that Mr. Akilade is the best candidate to continue the rebuilding mission he started in the state 8 years ago.
Mr. President has asked me, you know I'm speaking publicly here, Mr. President has asked me to thank all the good people of Ogun State. I know that he has thanked the entire nation himself early this morning. So I am giving you the message of Mr. President that he said he appreciates all of us in Ogun State for voting for him. I have thanked you. I am now giving another assignment that in this coming election, we are going to vote for our candidate. This is just a vehicle. APM is a vehicle. You know the party in which is serving in the National Assembly now. I want all of us to come out next week, Saturday, March 9. By the grace of God, March 9, we will tell them that nobody can enslave in Ogun State.
Let's go down to Abuja, where Maokwe is standing by with more on the news at 10. Hi, Maokwe. Great to see you.
Hello, Amarachi. It's good to see you. Well, victims of electoral violence at the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections in Sapele local government area of Delta State are seeking justice, asking security agencies to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. Narrating the experience, some of the injured currently receiving treatment at the Central Hospital in Sapele Point, accusing fingers at some politicians whom they accuse of masterminding the attack, which led to the death of 2 people who had come out to cast their vote.
The 2019 presidential and National Assembly elections may have come and gone, but the effects of electoral violence that marked the process is still being felt as the victims are crying out to the authorities for justice. This is the home of one of the deceased in the Sapele area. It's calm and still in a mourning mood. Eyewitness accounts give a summary of what actually transpired at the polling unit on election day.
They would vote for you. Most of the rush come outside. Most of the rush come outside with the boys. So they shoot our boys for you.
I'm casting my vote. Some set of people just came in. And I know them, they even know me. So as I'm giving the PVC to them, automatically I had a shook from my back. I say, you shook me. I turned, it shook me here again.
A quick visit to the Central Hospital in Sapele reveals that some of the injured during the attack are still undergoing treatment.
Well, we do well for the vote. Before army come pursue all of us, pursue everybody leave the unit. So I call the goers. Yeah, for the goers, now they use more to bracket me for obeying. Before they run like this, I don't jump in, now they shoot me.
Meanwhile, leaders of the People's Democratic Party, during a press conference, condemned the killing, calling on the relevant authorities to bring the culprits to book.
We can't take the laws into our hands. So what we did was to report to the police station, and we urge the police to carry out investigation and ensure that the culprits are brought to book.
Denying all allegations, the accused person absolves himself and the All Progressives Congress.
I have no knowledge of anything, nothing about what happened.
If I have knowledge of it, they there can be able to come out and point a finger. You cannot just accuse person because the person belongs to a political party.
The killing of Michael Chibike and Jeffrey Otegwaji, who were shot dead while discharging their civic responsibility on the 23rd of February this year, is one of the cases of electoral violence that occurred in some states of the country. And with another crucial election just by the corner, many Nigerians have called on the security agencies to ensure that there is no recurrence.
And in the judiciary, the Court of Appeal is reserving judgment in 4 separate appeals filed by the suspended Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onnoghen, in connection with his trial before the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The 3-man bench of the court, led by Justice Stephen Ada, had previously suffered adjournment on 3 consecutive occasions. One of the CJN's appeals is challenging jurisdiction of the CCT, to hear the charges against him. Another of the appeals is challenging the ex parte order on which President Muhammadu Buhari relied on to suspend the CJN and appointed Justice Tanko Muhammad as acting CJN. The third appeal challenges the CCT's refusal to be bound by the orders made by the Federal High Court and the National Industrial Court, directing the tribunal to halt the CJN's trial. Justice Onnoghen had also appealed against the arrest warrant issued against him by the CCT on February the 13th. And that's all from Abuja, where it does seem like the business of government is still going on. Anne has details for you on Business News.
You're right, Malkwe. And thank you for joining us on Business News tonight. We begin with a total of 610.36 billion naira being distributed to the federal, state and local government councils as the federal allocation for the month of February. A breakdown of that figure shows that the federal government received 252.41 billion naira, the state government received 170.541 billion, while local government councils received 127.92 billion naira, while 41.9 billion naira was allocated to oil producing states as 13% derivation fund. In the meantime, the Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, says the committee is awaiting the approval of the Minister of Finance for additional 50 billion naira from the Foreign Exchange Equalization Account. First City Asset Management, a subsidiary of the FCMB Group, has listed 2 additional funds on the Nigerian Stock Exchange with a view to increasing asset class diversification for retail investors. The listing, which brings the firm's total number of listed funds to 4, coincides with the launch of the NSC Mutual Fund Trading Platform.
In a bid to bring its mutual funds closer to the investing public, FCMB Asset Management is leveraging the new mutual funds trading platform of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. The asset manager already has Legacy Equity Fund and Legacy US Dollar Bond Fund tradable on the exchange. Here, the Chief Executive, Mr. James Ilori, tells traders some of the objectives of the Legacy Money Market Fund and the Legacy Debt Fund.
Legacy Money Market Fund really has a very basic investment objective, which is to help investors preserve capital. The secondary objective is to generate stable income. The fund pays interest every quarter. For Legacy Debt Fund, it's a fixed income fund. The benchmark is 50% the return on the 3-month Treasury bill, and then 50% on the return on the 3-year federal government of Nigeria bond.
With the listing, investors now have room for capital preservation and income stream expansion.
We have stockbrokers in different parts of the country, from places like even in Bayelsa, in Sokoto, Borno, you have stockbrokers there. So by distributing mutual funds via stockbrokers, you then enable Nigerians, irrespective of where they are in the country, be able to access this investment product.
Total AUM on mutual funds was around 250 billion, and by the end of last year it had grown to slightly under 650 billion, and that distribution has happened bilaterally between fund managers. Now, fund prices happen daily, once daily, so what the exchange has really done is just created a platform to democratize that investment process.
Local fund managers target a total size of 1.2 trillion naira in registered funds this year. The listing of FCMB's legacy funds will be expected to serve as a leeway for this goal.
Let's remain with the market. Despite the impressive performance in the Dangote Cement 2018 earnings result, the domestic stock market went deeper into negative territory. Today means it was red after yesterday's 0.69% downturn. Let's see the figures from Layo Adegoke.
Thank you, Anne, and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Profit-taking was extended at the close of midweek session at the Nigerian Stock Exchange as investors continue to react to political developments surrounding the outcome of the presidential elections. The all-share index dropped further by 0.71%, while total value of listed equities fell by about 85 billion naira as bellwether components across 4 major counters of the NSE shared value. A closer look at the sectoral performance shows that the heaviest decline came from the banking and the oil and gas sectors, which fell by more than 1%. However, the activity chart churned out a higher volume turnover, in contrast to previous session, as 456.7 million shares, worth 2.67 billion naira, changed hands in over 5,400 transactions. That volume was largely by investors' preference for the shares of Diamond Bank, which contributed 187.4 million units. And that's it on the Stock Market Report. I'm Layo Adegoke. It's back to you, Anne.
Thank you, Layo. Stocks on Wall Street have ended midweek trading session also negative on renewed uncertainty over trade relations between U.S. and China. Let's find out how all the major markets ended today. Thanks for watching Business News tonight. The rest of the news at 10 continues now with Amarachi Ubani. I'm Anne Nwawadu.
You First. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10 from our London Bureau. Around the world in 5. Stay with us.